mbalamusiza nnyo mwenna. You good people, naddala mmwe abawaayo obudde bwammwe ne mubeera ku mikutu gino. I don't take this for granted. Sikitwala nga kyakunyooma. Mbalamusiza nnyo mwenna abali e Bulaaya, abali mu Uganda, abali mu nsi yonna. Nina ekiwandiiko kyenvuddeyo nakyo kyenjagala tugabane. Mwenna abali kuno abandaba, abali ku TikTok musoke mumpe ekikonde bwe kiti, n'abali ku Facebook live mumpe ekikonde bwe kiti. Nina ekiwandiiko kyenjagala tuconcentrating ko tusaasaanye twesibeko. Bano abasajja basobola obbikola. Ompulira. Ensi yonna ekimanyi nti bano abazungu be babeezaawo Museveni. Era bano abazungu be bamukama ba Museveni. These bazungu are the bosses to Museveni. Era singa bakeera enkya ne bagamba Museveni, enough is enough. Vaayo mu Uganda. Emirimu gye twakutuma okukola contract eweddeko. Abatakyalina maanyi. Abatakyalina maanyi yadde. Bwe bakuwandiika ku mulimu ne bagaa contract yeggwako myaka 2. Kobeere nga gw'obadde manager. Ne contract kasiteggwako kobeere nga gw'obadde osinga obuyinza. Contract kasiteggwako. Oba tokyalina kyogamba bannansi. So kati twagala contract ya Museveni abazungu bano bagitaminating. Tukimanyidde ddala bulungi nti Museveni ayambako abazungu bano okudestabilizinga the African region. Kyekimubezezza mu buyinza kubanga abalaga nti obukadde magezi era nina experience era nze najjanga Bush woman kakati nina omutima ogwo ne bamuteekamu obwesige. Naye abantu bo bakube naye ng'owumba engalo naye nga w'oli mu buyinza. So kati abantu bano kasita twabategeera nti be bakozesa Museveni. Naffe tulina okukyusa obwanga, tulina okukyusa enkola, tulina okukyusa strategy, tulina okukuba ekkoona, tulina okukuba enkyukira. Enkyukira yeeriwa. Ngenda kusoma document eno nagiwandiise mu Luzungu. Nensaba mugisalemu, mugisaasaanye etuuke yonna gyesobola okutuuka. Okugivunula nja kugivunula. Tutegeraganye. Temweraliikirira abatali ba Luzungu kubanga bano abazungu be bakama ba Museveni. Bano abazungu abategeera Oluzungu be bakama ba Museveni. Bwe kinaa kyetaagisa givunula ne mu Lufalansa kijja kukolebwa. Okay, what is the document? This document goes to the authorities, to those people, I mean to those organizations that I will mention within the document itself. The document says, Yoweri Museveni, leave Uganda today, not tomorrow. Uganda in crisis. Western power must act now. Gwe mutwe mukulu. Western powers must act now. Ntandise. For nearly 40 years, Yoweri Museveni has ruled Uganda with an iron fist, turning the country into his personal property controlled by his corrupt family and cronies. His government is riddled with illegal arrests, torture, extrajudicial killings, and rampant corruption. Museveni has repeatedly trampled on Uganda's constitution, has upped the institutional powers, and exiled countless Ugandans who dare challenge his military regime. Since coming to power through the bloody Bush War of the 1986, Museveni has hidden behind sham elections, rigging every vote from 1996, the Semogere era, to the present day. His dictatorship is sustained by Western powers who continue to provide him with financial aid and military support. It is time for West to stop enabling this tyrant and give him an ultimate 1 month to leave Uganda. Nkadamukano, it is time for the West to stop enabling this tyrant and give him an ultimate 1 month to leave Uganda, the East African region, and step aside with his family. I proceed. Museveni is pushing his son, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, to take over. Despite Muhoozi openly threatening opposition leaders, including the preferred people's leader, stroke choice, His Excellency Bobi Wine, and the former opposition leader, Dr. Kizza Besigye, Muhoozi has even promised to execute Besigye before Uganda's Independence Day, that is of 9th October 2025. This is a dangerous and reckless provocation, endangering not only Uganda, but the entire East African region and Africa as a continent. Ugandans are tired of bloodshed and do not wish to take up arms again. But Museveni's continued brutality is pushing the nation to the brink. He and his son are plotting a coup within their own regime to hold the end to power. The international community must act now. The international community must act decisively before Uganda descends into further chaos. We call upon NATO, the United Nations, UN, the Commonwealth in the UK, Great Britain, the ICC, the US, France, the UK, Canada, and the European Union, and other diplomatic and all democratic nations in red to take action now, to take immediate action now. Sanctions must be imposed on Museveni and his cabinet, banning them from traveling to these countries. Western powers must stand firm, as they have done with other dictators, and ensure Museveni is removed before the 2026 general elections in Uganda. The people of Uganda refuse to be enslaved any longer by the foreign rule Museveni, masquerading as their ruler. The world must act before it is too late. The time for diplomatic silence is over now. Jokes should be put aside. Enough is enough. Museveni must go now. Ekiwandiko kiriko concerned Ugandans. Bwekyo bwekikomekereza. Nebyo kankuletera ekintu kabaayi kiwandiiko. Akagamba Museveni is a regional problem. We Ugandans are now becoming enemies to our Congolese brothers because they know we have a president who is doing all his dirty stuff in Congo. So any Congolese who looks at a Ugandan, they look at us as enemies. We have enemies from the Somali and Eritrean community. You know what is taking place in Somalia? UPDF is like UPDF. Killing Somalis, entangling in the internal affairs of those countries. Rwandese are enemies to Ugandans. That much you know. I won't explain it further. South Sudan, the diehards of Garanga. Whenever they see Ugandans, we are enemies. We have a president who assassinated their beloved John Garanga in a plane crash with Habyarimana. We have the Libyans. You've seen this on Al Jazeera. You've seen it in the media, where Museveni testified himself as he had a plot in killing Gaddafi with the Western powers. So Ugandans, if you see Libyans take us as their enemies. Kenyans, you know what is taking place in Kenya? Ruto has become also another problem, just because he went and he sought advice from Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. So Kenyans are suffering because of Museveni. Congolese are suffering because of Museveni. Somalis and Eritreans are suffering because of Museveni. Ethiopians are suffering because of Museveni. South Sudanese and the Sudan are suffering because of Museveni. Libyans are suffering. Libya went back to ashes because of Museveni. So Museveni is not only a Uganda problem, but Museveni has turned to be a regional and continental problem. Why can't Western powers excommunicate, or why can't they cut short the contract they gave to Museveni? Africa demo emirembe. Have they done this before? I'll read to you this. Yes, they've done that before. They've acted. So I can read this. Muammar Gaddafi of Libya ruled Libya for 42 years, from 1969 to 2011. Overthrown and killed in a NATO-backed uprising in 2011. That is Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. 2, there's Robert Mugabe of Zimbabwe. He ruled Zambia for 37 years, from 1980 to 2017. What happened? Forced to resign in 2017 after a military coup with pressure from Western powers and Zimbabwe's elites abasoma. 3, Mobutu Sese Sekou of Zaire struck DRC today. He ruled for 32 years in Congo, from the 1965 to 1997. Mobutu was overthrown in 1997 by Laurent Desire Kabila with backing from Rwanda and Uganda. After I did this research myself, with the backing from Rwanda and Uganda after losing Western support. Ohokuna Blaise Compaoré of Burkina Faso. He ruled Burkina Faso for 27 years. That is 1987 to 2014. Overthrown in a popular uprising in 2014 after trying to extend his rule, and he was exiled. He fled to Ivory Coast. We have Yahya Jammeh of Gambia. He ruled Gambia for 22 years. That is 1994 to 2017. What happened to Yahya Jammeh? He lost in the elections of 2016, but refused to step down. Fled after ECOWAS threatened a military intervention. Omukaga yani Slobodan Milosevic yali akulira Serbia and Yugoslavia for 11 years. What happened? That is in 1989 to 2000. Ousted in 2000 after a disputed elections and mass protests in Western support for the opposition. Yes, we have Jean Bertrand, Artiste of Haiti. What happened to him? Jean Bertrand Artiste of Haiti ruled Haiti for 10 years. 1991, he came back in 1994 to 1996. Then he came back in 2001 to 2004. Those are 10 years. He was overthrown in a coup in 2004, allegedly with US and French involvement. Viktor Yanukovych of Ukraine. He ruled Ukraine for 4 years, 2010 to 2014. He was overthrown in 2014 European protests. It was called Euromaidan protest. After refusing an EU deal, European Union deal, he fled to Russia. Charles Taylor of Libya. What happened? He ruled Libya for 6 years, 1997 to 2003. Resigned due to civil war and UN pressure. He resigned. Charles Taylor resigned due to a civil war and US and UN pressure. Later arrested and convicted of war crimes. Number 10, we have Manuela Noriega of Panama. He ruled Panama for 6 years. That is 1983 to 1989. Manuela Noriega was removed by the US, United States, in the 1989 invasion of Panama. Operation Just Cause. The operation was called Operation Just Cause. 11. We have Yoweri Kaguta Museveni Tiribakurwa, ruled Uganda from 1986 to date. It is the time for Museveni. If they did it for other presidents, other leaders, the leaders have read to you, they can do it for Uganda. If you did it for all these countries, it's now time for Uganda. Mr. Trump of the US, wake up. NATO, wake up. Commonwealth, wake up. ICC, wake up. US, the France, the UK, Canada, and European Union, all of you guys, wake up. Give a 1 month ultimate time for Museveni to leave that country. And by the way, Museveni is not a pure Ugandan. He's a Ugandan by refugee status. He came to Uganda as a refugee. That's according to the former president of Uganda, Obote, Dr. Milton Obote. So, a person who came as a refugee in Uganda, why should you make Ugandans cry for all these years? Is that fair? I'm asking these countries, I'm asking you guys who are employing Museveni to steal wealth from Congo, to steal wealth from Sudan, to steal wealth from Burundi and other neighboring countries, to destabilize Africa, because you want to see Africans fighting all the time. But when you run to your countries, then you begin the the segregation, you begin the racism, you begin attacking blacks, you begin attacking Africans, as if we did this ourselves. The problem comes to you, Western powers. Why do you still hold Museveni in the seat? If you ousted, if you supported these countries, these leaders have, if you supported these countries and they got liberty and they got the leaders they want, why can't you do it to Uganda? Give Museveni an ultimatum of 1 month to leave Uganda. Let him pack whatever he wants. He leaves Uganda. He is not a Ugandan. And Ugandans, the owner of Uganda, the indigenous Ugandans, we have the right to chase him away. Assisted by you, the bosses of Museveni. I sign out the English version. Mukasalimu mubusalimu. Butuke je bulaga. So tulina okwengejinga gia endala. Abasajja bano tubaatulire. Muve mukulooza mbuno ebabawo obuddamu wano babayamba. Nemutuuka n'okwagala obbakomba ebigere. Bano bennyini be batabangu bye bakola babitegeera bano abazungu. Beetaaga kulangira. Gwandaba ku TikTok, my mission na. N'abafana n'abalina obwongo oba gojja buyita bwa kisiru oba bwa kitegeevu n'abalina obwongo ng'obwange. That's where we are going to. Mujewa amaru abantu mujewa amara agalowooza nti bojje Canada oba bwogenda mu America oba UK, Netherlands, wherever, whichever country you go to, nti otuuse. These countries are not heaven. There is a better place called heaven, where there is no suffering, where there is no kind of this bullshit. However much you look at these skyscrapers, very nice cities, very posh, fancy cars and fancy houses and whatever. There's too much freedom. There's too much life. You don't have any inheritance on the US property. You don't have any inheritance on the UK, Canada, European countries. You don't have any inheritance. Your inheritance is in Uganda. This one. Your inheritance is in Uganda. Kakati abantu abamu muzukuke obwongo. Open up your mind. I usually give you an example of Palestinians and Israelites who are fighting for a small land like this. Why? Because they appreciated God putting them there. So they must fight for it. How about you, whom God gave the Pearl of Africa, the best country with the best weather, big fresh waters, organic food, and very welcoming people? You just sit back in your chair, you work day and night. There are those who have these toxins, they will take a dead body. That's a stupid talk. It's not a sense talk. It is a senseless talk. How about your relatives who are down there? Do you prefer working every dollar, every pound, every euro? Whichever money you get, you send to Uganda, you send to Uganda, you send to Uganda. Do you have calculations in you? Now, for those who are building castles in Uganda, storage buildings, those who are building mansions, those ones buying farms in Uganda, when will you have time to go and enjoy the sweat you've worked for? When will you have time to go back to Uganda and enjoy the winter you suffered in? When will you have time? When you can't have time to reserve a day and fight for your country. Am I making sense here? Am I educating someone? So ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the skyscrapers in Dubai, you have nakatakatokaina, you don't have even even a cup of soil. It belongs to the Arabs. All the good posh vehicles you see in Canada, they belong to Canadians. All the skyscrapers you see in the US, they belong to the Americans. Not American Uganda. Not Canadian Uganda. No. Think twice before you act. I'm here to educate you, to make sure that you appreciate your country, to make sure that you do something for your country, your motherland, Uganda. Uganda is crying. Uganda is bleeding. Uganda is suffering. And Uganda is not the flag. Uganda is the brother, is the sister, is your grandmother, is your mother, is your father, is your uncle, is your aunt. You left down there. Tuzukuke. Tuzukuke. Nze ng'oli mu nsi yonna I'm about to get my passport. We must demonstrate worldwide. We must demonstrate worldwide. Me as Chumachaiso, I'm not going to demonstrate in Canada only. I'll have to visit the ICC. I ask them, what are you doing, guys? Why don't you arrest the man, the criminal? I'll have to visit the Commonwealth. I'll have to visit the UN. I'll have to visit all those crucial organizations or places that are empowering this tyrant, this dangerous monster, Museveni. We have to wake up. We have to wake up. We have to do something as indigenous Ugandans, as pure Ugandans. Don't leave Ugandans for the dogs. My dear, it is so painful to me. I had just built Micah house. I slept there only 1 month. And today I'm in one room. I'm suffocating in one room. I had built a house of 3 bedrooms. That freedom is no more. If I don't have $1,000, I'll sleep on the streets. Here in Canada. I had left that business of renting. I want some people to pick some sense in you. I had left that business of renting. But now I went back to zero. At my age, with this white hair, should I be renting now? Can I afford to buy a house in Canada? How many years must I work to own a house in Canada? Let's use our brains. Members, Ugandans in the diaspora, let's use our brains. Let's engage that gear. Yes, we've gone for demonstrations and we've told them what we want, but we can change. Now we should demonstrate, asking them to give Museveni an ultimate time of 1 month. And never to appear on the ballot paper. Let pure Ugandans and other democratic Ugandans appear on the ballot paper. Not Museveni and his son. Are they pure Ugandans? Are they Ugandans? We gave them a chance. They didn't use it well. It's high time they vacate our country and go somewhere else. Sometimes I'm bitter because I'm the real refugee. I am the real refugee. To the extent that I can't even come close to Kenya or Tanzania. Now, you will find those who are not pure refugees, those who are dilute refugees, condemning this. Why? Because they have freedom to go back to Uganda and they enjoy with their families. And they eat their money. Nesinga abana bana obutayimbwa babakubirayo obutayimbwa. Nemulyoka mukitegeera nti fenna we should stay in the same boat and fight once and for all. Fenna tufune emirembe. Why am I bitter? Why am I saying all this? Why should I draw all these plans? Because I'm a pure refugee who wants to go back to my country. If I'm to come back to Canada, I should come back willingly. Like some of you here, after getting travel documents, they sneak back to Uganda. And they enjoy, they take even pictures. Hey! So you cannot imagine such a person. You cannot assume that such a person will have that spirit of the struggle. And these are the people who will discourage the freedom fighters. Find a job and work. Just because they are not pure refugees, they can easily go back to Uganda and come back to the US, to Canada, to UK, to Netherlands. Comfortably. They don't have any pressure on them. They can go back and check on their businesses, check on their families, check on their investments, then come back to Canada. My dear, that's what we all want. We all want to be like that. Canada, I'm in Canada willingly, not by force. Why should someone put an idea in me to buy a house in Canada? Why can't I invest all that much money in my country, Uganda, my motherland? The brain. Those who, my OGs and my OBs, right from primary, secondary and high school, you know, my performance. I used to be the best performer. If I was not number one, I was number two or number three. And number three, I had performed badly. They used to pick me from primary 4 and answer a question. Take me to P7 class to answer a question for P7 members. That is Chuma cha Yesu. That's how intelligent I am. Go and ask my OBs and OGs right from primary. I was an intelligent boy, and indeed I am up to today. So, amagezigaze. Ugandans cannot demonstrate like we in the diaspora. Last time you saw us in the snow, it's not that outside is not cold. It's cold, it's freezing. It's a negative. But we endured, we endeavored to go on the streets and demonstrate just because our country is here for we need to go back. If it's winter like this, I'll be going back to Uganda. And if winter is done, I come back to Canada. Free entry, free exit. Abadde Uganda singa bobuta yimbwa. Abayali mwetegereze nnyo bano ba diaspora abajje Uganda. Bobuta yimbwa ku mutwe baba bayina sente. Mubabbeko n'amasimu ako. Ebintu bijjemu omuzannyo. Let's get serious. Let's engage in another gear, a strong one. And let's just focus it on these Western powers. Let's not sit back. A Uganda si birungi. 4 years down the road, your wife is not seeing you. Just imagine how many temptations she's going through. 4 years down the road, your husband can't access you because you are in the territory of the danger zone. The moment they see you, Mbaka mabus, and even killing you. 4 years down the road, you cannot access your children. They can only see you on WhatsApp Daddy, daddy, daddy. Is that enough? Is that what God created us to be? Is that how we should interact with our families? So I call upon pure refugees and dilute refugees to come on board. We fight this battle once and for all. We move on. To violate one, let's forward this document to those respective organizations to give Museveni an ultimate time, him and his family, to leave Uganda within a month. I've given you examples of countries. They've done it. They've done the same. So to Uganda, it's not going to be news. It's not, Museveni is not exceptional. It's not so special. Museveni is not so special. You look at Nani Uyo, Muammar Gaddafi. Muammar Gaddafi was an icon to African continent. At least he loved this country. He was a true Libyan. But now if NATO, US, France could assassinate him, why can't they do it to Museveni? Let him vacate Uganda within a month. Njaga Musara akatandiako. Edit that part where the letter, the message, and throw it everywhere. We give Museveni an ultimatum of 1 month, and he shouldn't appear on the ballot paper. Tuvendi ogendo bugenze ku street. Museveni must go. When? Museveni must go. Museveni must go. When? Now this is my focus. When? Give him an ultimatum of 1 month. You look at these soldiers. You have the guns. Why don't you assassinate that president? Bana Uganda bafune emirembe. Shoot him. Mulabe embaga ku munsi yonna. And you see celebrations all over the world. You UPDF officers, why don't you save Ugandans? And at least act against your boss, who is giving false and stupid orders. How do you invade an office, an NUP office, which they don't have any guns? You remember the first invasion? I was in charge of security by then at the National Unity Platform. I didn't accept these guys to do a search warrant without our presence. I remember Madam Sir, our administrator, and my comrade Kabunga. We said we should be solid. We shouldn't leave these guys to do a search at our offices in our absence. Because we had got rumors. They came with bullets and they wanted to throw them in ceilings, in the ceiling. They had come with military attires. They wanted to throw them inside. And that's what they are exactly doing right now at the new headquarters of NUP. Then they come up with a report that according to the search done by police and UPDF and other security organs, we found 20 bullets in the principal's office, Bobby Kyagulanyi's office. According to the search warrant, according to the search we conducted at NUP Kavule headquarters and Kamocha, we found army uniforms in Waiswa Mufumbira's desk. Other items found, we found a bomb in the Secretary General's office. It was in a bucket. then they implicate our leaders. Let's not act normally. Mwe chapter leaders abalowooza mbu ebintu tulina kubitwala tuti. I'm not condemning you, I'm not against anyone, but I'm just encouraging you, encourage us to engage in another gear. The Baganda say, we have a saying, a government, akufumbiro yomutwe, omufumbira bigere, ne mwenkanye vumbe. Don't tell me we've run out of ideas and strategies to get rid of that monster Museveni. But our leaders, how are you planning our journey to success? Also matters a lot. The way you're planning our journey to success in Montebe matters a lot. Biemu planning abijja dictator Montebe. Biemu planning and what you're planning and what you're implementing. Do they push Museveni somewhere in the corner and he feels squeezed with his son and wife and the daughters? Aba Natasha abakyakola ki mu Uganda? Natasha Museveni, Diana Museveni, who is this Patience Museveni, ye fula pastor, church ye bakirizayo bano banyido zino mpanvu okakusaba, Muhozi Kainerugaba, no bwana bwa Museveni obuli eyo butamanyiddwa. Mukyakola ki Uganda? What are you doing in Uganda? You've seen and you know what your father has done to that country. You've never even come out to condemn the evil deeds. Society, communities are crying. Every now and then, Museveni, your father, your grandfather, I'm talking now to even the grandchildren of Museveni. Your grandfather, Museveni, is killing other grandchildren, other people's grandchildren, and other people's children. And you're very happy, eating sausages and pancakes and... My dear, Natasha Karujire, Diana Museveni, Patience Rwabogo, Muhozi Kainerugaba, Janet Kataha, and all your blood vacate that country. Go somewhere else. Go back to Sweden. Go back into exile. Because the worst is about to come onto you. Mumulowooza abantu abana b'abantu abalala regime ya mwebetta bote balumwa. Do you think your father killing, incarcerating, torturing, illegal arresting other people's relatives or boys and girls or children or fathers and mothers, you think those people are happy? Natasha, use your brain. Diana Museveni, use your brain. Patience Rwabogombo pastor, a masquerading pastor, use your brain. Muhozi Kainerugaba, use your brain. And all Museveni's children, unknown, and if you know Museveni's child, Mumutubuli, we want to profile all of them. We have a book. We want to put them in black books. In our black book. If you know any child of Museveni, send their details to us. You guys, we must profile you, and we shall deal with you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you this. Patience, Natasha, Rwabogo, Muhozi, Diana, Janet, Museveni, never leave your father's grave in Uganda. Nchidamu zesiseka. Never leave Bwemubanga mugenda, whenever you're leaving that country, make sure you take the remainings or the bonds of your grandfather or your father. Sali. Take the bonds of your grandfather, take the bonds of your father. Kaguta. Mzee Amos Kaguta. And Esteri Kukondeko. Take them away from Uganda because we don't want that. Those Visirani. Take them with you wherever you decide to go, whether in Sweden or where. Never leave those bonds. Never leave your grandfather or grandmother's bonds in Uganda. I'm telling you, unless you want us to smash them into ashes. Arewe tumara okubocha tetubuyiwa na mu Victoria, tubulinyise nyonyi ne tubuyiwa ku Atlantic Ocean, not even Indian Ocean. Because we have an attachment with the Indian Ocean. Nyonyi, Atlantic Ocean. Oba Pacific Ocean. Gasia buloro, tsembeza wala. Mutawana wabandu. Ugandans are crying. Ugandans will become enemies to Congolese in the diaspora. Omukongo tayagala kutunulako. Somalia tayagala kutunulako. Mwatwala UPDF e Somalia ese baganda babwe ese batata babwe. South Sudan tayagala kutunulako. UPDF eri mu South Sudan yetta abantu babwe batagara gundi ono John Garanga. Kenya ali mu diaspora wano Canada US tayagala kutunulako agamba bino ebisajja ebina Uganda byo bina Museveni atabangudde waffe. So Museveni has become a regional and African problem. Era mwe bana Uganda timuloza nti Museveni is a problem to Uganda only, but he is a regional problem. I did this video in English. I wanted my brothers in Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Somalia, South Sudan to understand my message clearly. And even the whites, the Western powers, Canada, USA, UK, and Netherlands and all European Union countries. Give them this message. Museveni is a regional and continental problem. Excommunicate your contract with him and give him an ultimate time of 1 month to vacate Uganda in peace. We shall not come to your countries as refugees for those who don't want. We shall not be a burden to you. Omuntu ayina ennyumba. Abasajja baleka zikalina baleka emirimu. Bali wane Canada basula mu bishelter. Bishelter bimanyi nti biringa bidoomu. Obutanda bwebuti. Magezi. Galiwa. Where are your brains? Kati no waliwo bebalimbalima ne babasuza mu zi hotel. Tebagala kuvayo. Eyo wote ne bona agisulamu omwaka gumu oba ebiri. It is not your hotel. Ojaje bakamba kuwe bigaati bipiza, ebigaati n'ebigundi obirye bikutamye, otandika okujulira okudde wamu. Nga toyina kyokozeeyo. Wake up, Ugandans, wake up. Ugandans, wake up. Uwanogendo ofe. You die and you start giving us burden with your dead body to transport it back to Uganda. Hanange, $10, mpeleza $5, $10. Stupid. Why should you contribute for your body to go back? Why don't you contribute to yourself when you're still alive? You drain people's money. Omunaku no wano bamuoja. Ata ina linya. They will ban you. No one will contribute for your body. There are so many Ugandans who are banned here. But it's criminating. You're poor, no one has money. Katibana manya. Katugambo banga chuma, obani, ya fudo ba ina influence mo society. Then nebatandika okubadeninga community. Bana our brother died, so we want money to transport the body back. Did I come to work for bodies to be transported back to Uganda? Am I here to work for bodies to be transported back to Uganda? Ask yourself, are you here in the UK, in the US? Are you here in Netherlands? Are you here in Australia? To go on your shifts, you doze, you get tired, you get abused, you get all the stress. Then after getting your salary, you deduct that salary to transport dead bodies back to Uganda. Obongo bukola bulungi. And you hear fools saying, Mboze kabalizayo mobili. Tebajja kuzayo bajja kuochera wano obuvuba busule eri oba bwalibera abantu olibusanga omanyi wano evuli omufu balina bu storage we babuteeka ne bateeka ke erinnya chuma cha Yesu. Kati if chuma cha Yesu's family comes and wants the remainings of chuma cha Yesu, they give him a bottle like this. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Nze abantu abamu munsobera. Nze nanyumiriza nnyo okuntwala ku kijja kyewaffe. Abaana n'abazzukulu b'abazzukulu ne bajja ne ago ge malaalo ga jjajja mu kyuma kya Yesu. Awo nange gye ndi mpulira bulungi. Naye okufa ng'omanyi bagenda kwokya osigale vvu. Is that our culture as Ugandans? As Baganda, n'olaba n'Omuganda alina amagezi ng'ayogera ebyo nti nze eka balizaayo mulambo, balizaayo vvu. Otegeera bulungi. Maama we yakuzaala bulungi. Tewaliyo muka kitaawo oba omujja wa maama oba omukozi yakutwala n'akusuula mu kabuyonjo. Poliisi nejja n'ekunyuulayo bunnyuluzi. Wayonka amabeere oba wayonkako weeks 2 ne batandika okuwa agente. Omanyi waliwo abantu abalina obwongo nga mutuufu bw'otandika okubusengejja bw'oti. Bambi ojja musaasira. Yayonkayo wiiki egi ne bamuzza ku mata g'embuzi n'agente kati yafuuka mbuzi. In thinking Namata Silvia ng'omuntu yafuuka mbuzi kubanga from day one yanywa amata ga mbuzi oba gante n'obwongo ne bufuuka bwa mbuzi ne bufuuka bwa nte. Ne bw'oba wayonka maama wo for a year plus tosobola kulowooza like that. Bw'otyo nze siridda Uganda balizaayo mufu. Ani agenda okuddawo okubonaabona n'akalambo ko oba n'ogulambo gwo? Why don't you fight hard? Why don't you fight now? Why do you condemn? Abalwanira enkyukakyuka. Bino si byabannabyabufuzi bokka, ensonga lwaki olwazitaddeeko NUP beret. Naye abanna-Uganda to sensitize you, to put brain, to put wisdom in your head. Think hard. Goyagala bagende ku kijja kyewammwe nga banoonya amalaalo g'akasagga Daniel nga tegaliiwo nti ate yafiira Bulaaya. You're gone, you're done. Banoonya amalaalo ga Namata Silvia ku kijja nga tegaliiyo. Yafa ne bamwokya. Nga ne wamwe teri agenda kufuna visa kulinya nnyonyi kujja katugamba oba Dubai oba Canada oba US namata gye wafiira akireininga evvu eryo nga ne process y'okufuna evvu eryo the remains of namata. It's a hard job. Lwaki obonyaabonya abantu? Obonyebonya ab'ekika kyo bagambe nti oyo yazaawa yagenda e Bulaaya munange n'afiirayo. Kalira bw'otaba w'amaanyi teri atawaana kali olimbo atekemu visa ne tiketi ya milioni 8 aze Canada mbu aze kukima vulya namata aze kukima vulya kyuma kya Yesu azifu sente tebalina kyazikolamu. Abantu mwe some people are just selfish and stupid in their mind. Munasonyo okose bigambe nenze bwonyumya bwoti nkuuliza ningamba nze kabalizayo mulambo nyenya bunyenya mutwe ningamba nina we nkutadde ninga katirabo endowooza yono. Look at the ways some people think. Look at their reasoning. Gwe lwaki olowooza nti abeewo tebakwagala tebalyagala at one time at one day to go and fabaganda tulima ebijja tulima amalaalo bali yegombako lumu ne bagamba bannange twagala kugenda tulime tugenda ku Sunday ejja tugenda tulime amalaalo tugenda tulongose because that's our culture as baganda. Banonye ekijja ekikyo no banonye excuse me banonye eddaalo baliyita amalaalo banonye amalaalo agago nga tegaliiwo. Goloza what will be kyekigenda okubeera mu mitima gy'abantu abo kiki ekigenda okubeerawo? Bajja kunyolwa nnyo. Oluusi mukazi watu oba musajja watu wakolanga nnyo n'obaweereza ssente. Maama sente zizo, taata sente zizo, muganda wange sente zizo. Kati baagala bagendeko ku kijja bakusiime. Bongo zina bagamba mu kibiina nalinga wa first wa kubiri wa kusatu. Simanyi bbanga linnayonkera maama wange naye okusinzira ku magezi genda bagennina ntewa kuba na muyonkera omwaka plus muyonsa abaana bafuna amagezi. Temuyonsa abaana amata ga mbuzi temu abaana amata ga nte nga tebannatuuka bakazimu abali kuno bannamata muyonsa abaana babeere n'amagezi. Aliena firebase bw'ozaala omwana muyonse for a year plus. Bino ebisajja ebyamadduka kati omwana mugjeeko nange enyonkeko ebibbi by'amata g'abaana sooka okigobe kigambe gwe va ku bbeere ly'omwana lya bibyo birala naye ebbere yo lireke omwana ayonke abaana babeere n'amagezi. Omanyi Bayibuli eno egamba omuntu waba tannaba kwogera tomanya amagezi ge naye omuntu amala okwogera olyoka olaba obusiru bwe oba okutegeera kwe. Governor Shidi byenjogera birimu amagezi oba nedda? Charles Christopher Senyange Kiwanuka temugenda tubonyaabonya na bulambo bwammwe wano mu diaspora mubonyebonya abeeka mubonyebonye naffe abali eno. Omuntu okera mu shifuti okera mu muzira okera mu samate bwajja nobeera nomukolera mu bbogu mweri yitiridde eno abazungu bakuvuma eno biruzi ziringa biruzi eno amabanja galinga amabanja ate weefiise tisonda kalambo ka gundi tukazze Uganda. Okufa sikuganye kubeerawo. naye fa nga olwana. Die trying. Tugamba nze tebinkwatako. Ekabaliza mulambo. Uganda yantama. Empunyira sizi. Ekintu kyokola ovuma omukama Katonda wo eyakutonda ng'oli munna Uganda. Bw'oba musiraamu onyomye Allah oyisizaamu Allah amaaso omulaze nti yakola nsobi okutonda ng'oli seeka ng'oli hajjati ng'oli muwala musiraamu ng'oli muvubuka musiraamu e Uganda. Kyokoze. Wano abazungu tebali twagala. Yadde tubeesibako. Nange nga mwendi yadde tubeesibako tebatwagala. Eno kale balabikira bulala. Ate jjukira balinamu n'ennugu nti Africa kontinenti nnungi teyandibadde mufa abasiru. Abalowooleza mbu ssente obutono abatalowooza kukulaakulanya ggwanga lyabwe kontinenti yaabwe. Balina we batuteeka levo ne baga ebyo tebitegeera ebifirika. Kati kambabulire wane Canada. Tolaba nti Ukraine eriyo entalo ne mu Palestine nawa mu nseze ez'abalina langi enjeru. Nero libasanga mu shelter nga banna Uganda. Abazungu oba abawarabu abali mu shelter be bana abasazeewo okunywa enjaga. Abanusa amafuta abanusa enjaga. Kwa bobo ebulamu bwe basazeewo. Ne bana abazungu abadduse entalo mu nsi zaabwe ng'e Ukraine basula mu zi hotels. They respect them. They respect that color. Kati mwe ne babayiwa eri mu kayoola. Teri privacy. Onaafuuwa n'onaafuuwa n'oli akola biki oli awemula oli akola onaayagala kweyambula oli akoze biki. Ne mubeera eyo mu katogo. Onali muto itagivaamu ate nze nja kunaaba n'obeera eyo mu katogo nga waleka amayumba go waleka ebyobugagga byo waleka ebibanja byo waleka bizinesi zo waleka zibodaboda zo e Uganda. Walone gwe nakawulira abagagga babiri abakatunda amaduuka mu kikuubo. Omuntu w'obeerera n'edduuka mu kikuubo n'osalawo olitunde olitunde goodwill ojja osule mu shelter. My friend, it's very terrible. Aliena Firebase agambye mbu muhoozi teyanyonka. Muhoozi ki? Wazalayo akaana ke bayita muhoozi. Ekisinga okunsesa abawoza nti tebibakwatako ate be basinga okubeera mu mbeera embi. True. Nye nange wano ndi mu mbeera mbi. Ndi mu kazigo kamu bwe kati. Kanalekayo ennyumba eyimiridde eriko n'ekikomera. Nasimba omuti gwange omutaffeeri mulujja wakati nga nina ensonga lwaki ngusimba kubanga nali ntegedde nti ekitaffeeri bw'okirya ebikola bw'obifumba n'obiwuta mu supu oba n'obinywa bikutaasa endwadde nnyingi. Kati wano ngenda kusimbawo ekitaffeeri. Nsonga ya bulamu wane Canada oba mu America gy'oli oba e UK ogenda kujjawa sere eddagala. Gwe omuwala awo omusajja alimu akawunyaawunya wano ogenda kufuna bombo. Ogenda dijjawo. Era ogenda kwesiga bino deodorant by'abazungu bikuwunyeko owunyenge kalalume. Tuzuukuke. Tulwane masajja. Nabagambye twengejinge mu giye endala. Gye bayita give Museveni an ultimate time of 1 month ave mu Uganda. Kati Museveni wanaamala okuva mu Uganda faagala okuddayo tuddeyo. Mwagala okusigala abalowooza mu Canada oyinako ekibanja oyinako akataka oyinako akakopo k'ettaka oba US oba UK oba Netherlands oba Sweden mwe musigaleyo. Buno obulamu bumbi. Kati nze ku myaka nina emeka ye nawezezza 25. Nsigazza emeka. Kunsi. Muntu baba wawezezza emyaka 25 nsigazza emeka kunsi. Mwino kwala nezo calculator ne mubala. Kati buno obubaka bugenda eri abasajja bakulu bannange ne bakazi bannange abakulu. Abava mu nsi ezo nga mukuze. Oba ovudde bulungi oba mirembe. Kwata calculator yo bwoti ogambe mbutuufu mpezezza emyaka 48. Ngenda kuweza 5. Mbuzayo emyaka emeka nfe oba nve mu nsi. Kakati egyo emyaka egisigaddeyo osazeewo gy'obonaabonera eno muzira. Kati n'ekintu ekiri wano abatajjanga Bulaaya oba batabiranga keno. Omusajja mukulu bw'akaddiwanga nze nga nina abaana. Abaana bakukwata bukolokolo ne bakutuswala ne bakuteeka mu homes, retirement homes, ne bakusuula eyo kinene kyawanga tebaagala kumanya. Ne beefuula bize. Daddy, I'm at job. I'm at school. I have lectures today. I cannot come today. I'll just call you in the evening after we're done with the elections. Okay, Dad? Oh, you'll be fine. We paid that retirement home to keep you safe. They should give you food. They should give you something to drink. I'll talk to the doctor. He'll come and check on you. Okay? Ennaku nekutira mu retirement homes. Buza bana Uganda bakolayo. Abamu basuna obukadde obwo. Ne bu videos mubula. Tekaagala kunaabulina akasibula. N'akanyola kati tebezaamu nga babikola jjajjaawo. Babikola taatawo. Bakozi. Bulijjo basiba abakwata. Akakadde okagamba tugenda onaabe kagaani. Let's go and bathe. Nah. Come and have breakfast. Nah. Kati oli obusungu nga buli nyanga akanyigamu wano nga akasuna inti. Ngakaka. So baganda bange ebintu si byangu aba TikTok bavuddeko bagikuttemu naye kiryoke. Ebintu si byangu. Let's retire from our home countries. Dayo retiringire ewammweka. Ng'omanya abazzukulu bajja kujja bakulabeko. Babulaadi bo, omusaayi gwo. Ffe tulinamu ne culture. Jjajjaawo omurespectinga paka kufa. Taatawo omwekitiibwa paka kufa. Ekitali wano. Sibatamya butamya Bulaaya, but that is the reality. Ago ge mazima. Vaayo tulwane, muveeyo tulwane. Tusigukulula omusajja ono. Abamu tetujja sobola genda mu nsiko, abalala temujja sobola genda mu nsiko. Ne tukola ekisoboka. Naddala ffe abali mu diaspora. Tusobola osigukulula omusajja ono nga tukosezza all means. Nga ate abazungu bano tubalaze nti tuli serious ate twabategeera. So mbagala nnyo baganda bange nange ngenda genda nkole nesi birungi. Politics bana abasajja gwe bazanya abalumbye eki kitebe bakoze eki. That's bullshit. They want to disorganize the Kalulu Kekawembe. Naye tebajja kumalako. Ne bana amalako ate era tebajja kumalako. Kwa osobola okumalako n'ogamba ntuse ku 10 naye nzo butatuuka ku 100. You guys still have a long way to go. Omuntu yenna ng'okyawagira NRM ensi ekwewuunya. Ale munoonye bye mugenda okutulimba nga regimu egudde. Kwata ekitabo tandika okunoonya by'ogenda okulimba ensi. Biwandiike. Tinze Museveni bw'aligenda ensi ngenda gigamba bwenti. Otherwise ebintu bukyabiranga ebyo okusaaga naye bigenda kubeera bibi. mukasalemu muli kajjukira mu abantu abawagira NRM abawagira omutemu abeereko nga atulugunya atta abantu ebintu bigenda bonoonekera mu maaso awo. Mujja kubulwa gye munywa amazzi, mujja kubulwa gye musaba omunnyo, mujja kubulwa gye musaba emmere, mujja kubulwa gye muddukira okufuna obuyambi. Ng'ensi ebajuliza Museveni, gamba Museveni ng'ate takyaliwo. So muganda wange ali eyo weebeereremu. Abaganda tuga nti abangi we basonga wekikola ki wekyabikira. Ayi Mukama Katonda kuuma Ssaabasajja Kabaka waffe owa Buganda, kuuma ne Nnaabagereka